Okay, I'm back, and this time with a really weird audio delay, but a lot less background noise. If you're not familiar, I'm testing out a new noise reduction software, and oh, can I even route that? Fuck it, I'm not gonna bother. Wait, yeah. Let me mute that over. And this is what it sounds like normally without the noise reduction. If I did that right. And now this should be with the noise reduction, but about a 1 second delay in audio. I know that's really annoying when you're watching someone talk, but you're not going to see my face most of the time and see me talking. You're going to see me working on a project, so hopefully that won't matter. I'm going to try perfecting it as I go along. The thing is, a video delay is really hard to get. Like, what in the fuck? Like, it's easy to get an audio delay going on. Is this even switching? Yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah, like audio delay boxes are cheap and easy to come by, but video delay boxes, not so much. I'm still looking for a solution for that because I need to delay the video for about a second to match up the noise reduction. Plus, I know this noise reduction has room for improvement. It sounds a little weird, it sounds a little echoey, but there's only so much I can do with this nonsense down here. So anyway, this is going to be a continuation, finally, of this project, which I haven't worked on for like over a week. And it was almost, this box was almost done as of when I ceased to work on it. So, yeah, might as well finish it up. And I believe where I left off was powering the indicator LEDs on this side, which are going to be powered via this switch. And so, yeah, on this side I want to switch the neutral, and on that side I want to switch the live. Not that it really matters, but that's how I want to do it anyway. I can make this wire significantly shorter, though. I mean, I can make it a lot shorter than even this, but I don't want to go too short. The thing is, I'm not even sure. I'm like monitoring. I'm on Twitch and YouTube right now, which again is probably just unnecessary for a variety of reasons, but yeah, okay. I kind of have Twitch and YouTube up at the same time. There's different delays between the two of them. There's two different chats. It's probably stupid to try to do both at the same time, but whatever. It's worth a shot. Now, do I want to put a... Oh, that was a horrible strip. Do I want to put a spade connector on this? I guess so. I've been doing that. Might as well stay consistent. The only thing is I'm running kind of low on spade connectors. Although this is the thinner gauge, so this should be fine. Oh no, I wasn't even using spade connectors. I was using the whatchamajigger connectors. Wow. I've lost all English language faculties right now. Shit, I don't have the right type of connector on here. 1 second, I'll be right back. Never prepared, I swear. It's like, I probably had them on the table, maybe. I mean, I haven't watched the videos that recently. So, this is for bare metal. Just talking to myself. Yeah, I got a shit ton of different types of connectors everywhere. I thought I had these out, but I guess not. Plus, I'm working on other projects right now that are not being televised, YouTube-avised, streamed. Streamed is the word I was looking for. But, yeah. Still working on my streaming pattern. You know, it seems to come naturally to some people. I'm not one of those people. And I feel like the breathing noises get picked up more heavily on this, with this noise reduction system. Probably because there's not noise to cover them up, so I apologize for that. Plus right before I started streaming this, I was running around getting shit set up, albeit not thoroughly. Crimpers. But those are just excuses, you know? Oh, these connectors are much firmer than the other ones. Jesus. Yeah, that seems tight. Okay. I don't think it was that. It's kind of loose. Fuck it. Let me get that connect. That's gonna break, isn't it? It's freaking aluminum wire. Aluminum wire is obviously more brittle than copper, so as it gets bent back and forth, which this is doing as it flaps around. Oh, don't tell me I can't. I need a better screwdriver than that for this purpose. Something a bit longer. That'll do. I really like this screwdriver. I got it on Amazon. It comes with a whole set of bits. I don't remember what it's called, where I got, or how long ago I got it. So, if you see it on Amazon, though, I recommend it. Don't know who makes it, but whatevs. And I know I've said it before, if you're watching these videos back to back, I'm probably going to repeat myself a lot, because for me, like, weeks have passed since I started working on this, and I don't remember what I said about it, so apologies if I get repetitive. But I guess if you haven't seen any of my other videos, which I can't recommend, especially because of the audio issues and my general ability to ramble, tendency to ramble, you can ramble about rambling if you want. Yeah, I couldn't blame you for not watching them, in other words. And I'm completely out of shot. God damn. This is starting off swimmingly. At least it's not late as fuck like usual. It's only 10:30. Wow, that's early. I'm usually doing this at like 2, 3 in the morning. But hopefully I'll be more on the ball than last time. Because last time I ended up just fucking things up. On all 3, I think, previous streams or videos of this project. Now, you know what? This is a double pole single throw switch. And since the switch goes this way, I mean, it's almost certain that this is one pole and that's the other, but if this is one pole somehow, then and that's the other, that's just going to short live to neutral. So, let me be right back again and get a multimeter. Oh no, wait, I won't have to be right back again, because I have a multimeter right here. I just want to make sure that switch works as expected. No continuity there. No continuity there. And then, I don't know if it's on or not, but let's just see. Then there's continuity there. Continuity there, and off. Like I said, 99% sure that's how the switch is laid out, because it's the only way that makes sense physically. But, you know, before taking the chance of shorting live to neutral with a switch, I figured it couldn't hurt just to make sure that was the case. Alright, cool. Very nice. I feel like, why did I take this wire out? There's got to be a reason for that. Huh. I don't know. That's the main line end. This is like the distribution. Yeah, it should be in this one. So anyway, yeah, and then in the, I've repeated this almost every single time, but I feel like I'm going to catch criticism if I don't point it out. These are fake Wago connectors. Real Wago connectors should be fine. They're not like... Oh, I remember why I took it out, because I need this wire to go into that. Okay, yeah, that's why that was out, because I was going to double those up. Do I need to double them up? No. I think I have everything wired that I need, so we can just go in that last terminal, right? I'm probably missing something super obvious here, but I don't think I am, actually. Alright. I'm just going to wire it into there. Haha. Anyway, the fake Wago connectors, they're just rip-offs made in China, as everything is. As I've said before, nothing wrong with things being made in China. There's plenty of quality products made in China. It's just China is also famous for making rip-offs of, like, brand name stuff. And, like, these are actually good quality rip-offs from what I've observed. The only thing is they haven't gone through any testing, I would assume. Like, they don't have UL listing or any kind of other regulatory listing on them. And even if they did, I would assume it was fake. because a knockoff company that's selling these real cheap probably hasn't bothered to pay for any kind of testing. So I wouldn't trust these in the walls of my house, and I wouldn't recommend you put them in the walls of your house. Oh, that's what the fuck I needed for, was that other terminal. My god. So this is what the problem is when I take a step away from a project for too long. Yeah. I tend to forget where I was. Use this little snippet of wire here. Put another spade connector on that for the other end of that switch. Yep. And I don't know, some people probably come up with like elaborate written plans for their projects. I do not do that. I generally wing it. Like I just sort of see the finished product in my mind in the beginning of the project. As you know, I'm sure most people do. But a lot of people take the intermediate. God damn, these connectors are firm. Most people take the intermediate step of, you know, writing shit down and actually, you know, coming up with a plan. That's just not me. It's not usually my style. Occasionally I do. My plan for this consisted of making the cover art for it. Not art. I mean, it'd be hard-pressed to call that art in any sense of the word, but the cover graphics for it. And even then, people who do graphics will probably be displeased with my usurping of their term. But anyway, that's the extent of the plan that went into this, is that I had a general layout for the top of this, which, you know, that, I mean, I guess some people probably could wing it. I don't know. I don't feel like I could just wing that. If I did it, I'm sure it would come up disastrously. Come out disastrously? You know what I mean? Because it's even something simple like this and something fairly, I don't know, ghetto rigged like this requires a bit of layout. Otherwise, you end up with components on top of one another that don't quite fit together and make sense. You end up squishing them all up. I've done that before. Anywho, that is a hot mess. So I just need a neutral for the indicator LEDs, and then I should be good. And I have this little scrap O wire, which should be long enough. Just adjust it. Right, get it in the shot. So I'm going to edit this down eventually. I mean, I shoot a lot of videos and then don't edit them. I got a hard drive full of this shit. So, I don't know. You may never see like a proper fun to watch is a generous term, easy to watch version of this, where the whole thing is done in about 15-20 minutes. Although knowing myself, I'll probably still edit this, you know, whatever it ends up being, 6 hours of footage down to like 2 hours. No, I won't do that to anyone. That's a little silly. Okay. Actually, I mean, I enjoy using the proper connectors, like these spade connectors, and the way... Oh, so what I was trying to say in the beginning when I was talking about repeating myself was that the reason I'm using all these spade terminals and Wago connectors and blah, 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 is because I want to be able to reconfigure this in the future. Like, I was initially just going to solder everything together, but I feel like this is neater anyway. I don't know. What do you think? Okay, it doesn't look neat, I'll grant you that, but yeah. I think this is done as far as like this top portion being all hooked up. Let me just do this for my own benefit, not so much necessarily for yours even. But, oh, I shouldn't have blocked up that last neutral connection because that's where the actual neutral that feeds the box has to come in on. So I gotta double up another one of these, or triple up? Do I dare triple up one of these? Yeah, I do. It's not what you're supposed to do, but again, my standards for like what I put in a permanent installation, like in my wall, are different than what I put in a box that I'm going to be using and supervising the whole time it's in use. You know, I still don't want it to be unsafe. It's just like, if the connections are a little flaky, then I'm not too bothered because I can fix it, and or if it starts smoking a little, I can grab the fire extinguisher and hopefully not run around panicking like Ned Flanders on fire. Okay. So live comes in here, goes to a power LED to indicate that power is just coming into the box, goes into a 3 amp circuit breaker, into a switch that's lighted, that's why it has a neutral, feeds power into this main distribution block. From there, power goes to a voltage indicator and an ammeter, which both need to be powered. It also goes to this banana plug, or banana socket, which has the ammeter's coil wrapped around it. That's cool. It also goes to this switch, which is just an override, because I can run a patch cable between these two to power the output of this box, or I can bypass the use of these by just switching that switch on. So that would provide live to this last banana post with the electrical tape all fucked up on it. Stay. We'll go to the output, and also that switch is tied in there. Then also from the live we go to the LED indicator switch, which now that I'm looking at it, I fucked that up. Oh boy, did I fuck that up. Wow. Well, yeah, I did completely fuck that up. I was just kind of jumping back to this project without paying attention. The idea behind... Okay. Well, yeah. The idea behind these two LEDs is to indicate when there's power at any of these two terminals. The problem being that I'm using this box in these terminals to insert a highly sensitive, highly accurate and precise ammeter between these two banana posts and into the circuit. It's that's the point of the whole box. It's like a neat way of doing that with some extra bling for no reason. I could have made this a lot simpler than it is. So the idea is the LED switch, when it's on, it'll light those two LEDs to show there's power there, but then when I'm about to run a test, I shut that off, so the LEDs aren't taking power from this side of the circuit, which is being measured. So it doesn't measure the current the LEDs are drawing, which makes complete sense. The only problem is I just fucked it up by wiring the LED straight off the live that comes in from upstream, which does not indicate whether there's power on this banana post or banana plug or not. So yeah, that was dumb. This live was supposed to go into this Wago connector, and the neutral is supposed to be switched. Yeah. Okay, that's easy to unfuck. It's just stupid. And that is not just a spade connector. I have to actually unscrew that. Yes, that's a bit embarrassing, but not the end of the world. Just snip that right off. A little strippy. And then, this last, yeah, I guess I'll double them up. I don't really care. Yeah. That last slot is for the output, so I'll just double it up in the center socket. What do you call these? Like each one of these positions on a Wago connector. I'll just call them positions. Yeah. Okay, and then I gotta de-wire this neutral, which I've wired overzealously. Pull that out of there. And then likewise, I did the, I made the same mistake on this side. I have to switch the live and have the neutral tied into this post. So just gotta reverse these two, and then we should be good. Make this one a little long so I can sort of curl it under there. You know, the thing that always sucks about this is that I end up having to waste connectors, which I put where? But these things are cheap as fuck anyway. I mean, these aren't like brand name connectors. These are just real flimsy ass. Oh, it's Nico actually, or Nico. Neiko. They actually make some decent shit. I got some brand new step drill bits. They make it too. My old step drill bits were made by them, and they were good quality. It's just I went through some fairly heavy gauge steel with them, which they're not really meant to do, but you know. I mean, they're better off sticking with plastic or, you know, aluminum or thin gauge steel. I don't even know if they're actually rated for steel at all, but hey, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. And they're not cheap, but they're not like super expensive either. I think the set I got was like 20 bucks-ish, which for 5 bits of good enough quality to cut through heavy gauge steel, even if that's not what they're meant to do. And by heavy gauge, I mean like proper like electrical enclosures. Yeah. So now, fortunately, oh, I guess I could just wire that to the other. You know what? Actually, that's because I'm gonna disconnect the other one. This is gonna look a little asinine because he's gonna be wired backwards, essentially. But as long as live's going to live, neutral's going to neutral, it doesn't really matter if they're. It's just aesthetic. Let me get this grounding. Oh, of course, I round that right between the two grounds. Ah, fucking shit. Yeah, I guess this entire video is just going to be me whinging about my mistakes. I promise I will be powering this box up in this video and getting a start on the low voltage box that's going to complement this, which is going to look vaguely like this. Note that all these circles are going to be covered with the components, so basically it's just the red lines connecting them in the labels, which is similar to what I did with this box. Anywho. Do I want to kind of, yeah, let me actually jam this, no, over and around. I'm like trying to keep this neat in here, but it's already just too late for that. This is definitely, oh my god, this, yeah, see, this has been flexing around too much. It's hanging by like 2 strands of wire, so I'm definitely going to be resoldering that. Yeah, and I need a longer wire there anyway, so fuck it. And then, but what I do need is the live to be pulled out of here. Snap that back down. I'm actually glad I used the Wago connectors right now, because if I soldered this like whole mess of wires together, that would have made this a huge pain in the ass. I stripped that a little too far for this connector. Let me just make sure I'm paying attention to what I'm doing. Yeah, that's correct. Now it's correct. See, this is what I get for not having a specific written down plan and just winging it on live YouTube vision. Come on, stay. Cool. Wait, not cool? Oh no, I thought that was twisting off. Yeah, it's not. Let me not sing. That wasn't singing. What the fuck? What is it when you go do 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 do? Just being annoying? I think that's the general term for it. Alright, now I gotta get my fucking soldering iron back out for that little piece of shit over there. It's like the one thing that could not use a mechanical connector all nice and prettily. I wonder what the noise reduction sounds like right now when I'm farther away from the computers. I'm going to have to go back and listen to this. This is sort of like my reminder to myself to make a note of it. Soldering station. Oh, there you are. Of course, it's all fucking plugged in over here. Using it for a different project. Get all those oscilloscope leads out of the way. I need like a mobile camera so I can show you what I'm doing, but whatever. It's not very exciting. Or just show you where I am. It's not just a disembodied voice. Okay. See, really, for this type of shit, I should just get a soldering iron and not use a whole soldering station. You know, like, I don't know what the term is, like a solder pen. Solder pen, I do know what the term is. So now I'm just going to sort of pile that up on top of everything. You know, like, this doesn't require a precision temperature or anything. It's just sort of like winging it. And now we play the waiting for soldering iron to heat up game. So what are you guys up to? Well, I mean, probably no one's watching, but, well, you know, if you were watching, I wonder what you're up to. It's Memorial Day here in the States, but I'm in New York and still on lockdown or shutdown or whatever you want to call it, so still not supposed to have, I think we're allowed to have gatherings right now of up to 10 people, as long as you do social distancing and wear a mask and blah, blah, blah. But really not in like a barbecue sort of mood this weekend. Neither are most people. Well, no, some people are, but a lot of fireworks in my area too, which, if you're not from around here, fireworks are very much illegal, but in my neighborhood we get tons of them for 4th of July usually, but Memorial Day in this case, because I guess people are really bored. I mean, I wholeheartedly endorse it, like, as long as people are using them responsibly, I got no problem with fireworks at all. They're a lot of fun. But I do understand, I guess, the rationale. I don't actually want to desolder that. I just want to kind of poke a new wire through it. It'd help if I got a new wire of the correct gauge. But I mean, I see the point of not having fireworks in either, you know, built-up urban areas or heavily populated suburban areas like mine. Because, I mean, you know, one errant firework hitting like a pile of dry leaves on the side of someone's house, and you had a house fire going pretty quickly. But then again, people light fireworks off every year. I mean, it looks like a war zone here on the 4th of July, which is awesome. Not, you know, I mean, well, okay, that sounds bad, especially on Memorial Day, to say something like that. But you know what I mean. It's there's just explosions everywhere across the entire sky. I took my drone out one year, and now, if I recall, I did that out of camera, I just stripped this. One year I took my drone out and did a 360-degree spin looking over at the whole horizon, and there were just constant fireworks in every single direction. I mean, you'd think not only were they legal, but you'd think they were required. Which is absolutely insane, considering they're fairly illegal. I mean, I actually don't know what the penalty is. Am I going to be able to poke that through? Let me just tin this. I don't know what the penalty is, actually, for lighting off fireworks or possessing fireworks around here. I gotta imagine it's one of those things you don't, like, go to jail. Otherwise, people would be a lot more skittish about doing it. But, ooh, that's smoky. This solder is old as shit. Look. This is from when I was a kid, I'm pretty sure. Radio Shack. It actually has a barcode. I don't think is that even a proper UPC? It's definitely not the proper UPC style. No, that's my face. I didn't mean to show that. Not that I'm embarrassed about it, it's just that wasn't the camera meant to hit. Anywho, let me see if I can just heat this up and stick the wire through the hole, despite the fact that there's still some strands stuck in the hole. Oh, I thought I had it. Come on. Also, the hole is really small. You know what? I was barely able to get strands through when this was not all fucked up. And I don't want to overheat it, because then this plastic's going to get all deformed in the middle. Oh yeah, I really made a mess of this. Yeah, I mean, of course you hear stories every year about someone who does fireworks incompetently and blows their own hand off or something, which, I mean, it's one of those things, like, you're tempted to say, they got what they deserved because they were stupid, but I mean, like, it's, you know, it sucks. I mean, and it's not obvious what they wanted to do. And I mean, I've played with fireworks. Sometimes they a little faulty and they just sort of go off unexpectedly, a little prematurely. What I'm doing right now is disgusting from like a soldering school standpoint, but I just wrapped the, you probably can't even see that too well, but I wrapped the cable around the little terminal and then just blobbed a bunch of solder on there, which is crude but effective. Yeah. I heat shrinked it on the other side, but that's not going to short out on anything. I mean, yeah, I'm just going to be lazy and not heat shrink that one. Let me put the soldering iron away, but not somewhere where my foot's going to hit it. I'll just put it on the floor over there. So, anywho, okay. So now that's switched on the live. This neutral has to tie back into this common output neutral block. Yeah. Let's cut that down. And I guess for general interest, if you're not from the U.S., fireworks aren't illegal in the United States. They're illegal in New York. And even then, like, certain types of really lame fireworks I think are still legal, like sparklers and, I don't know, little ones. But, you know, the big ones that fly, 50 feet up in the air and give a nice fat display are not legal. I mean, they're legal for professionals to use. Like, we get plenty of fireworks shows and stuff that are sanctioned by whatever local government sanctions them. But private use of fireworks, maybe in upstate New York it's different. I don't even know, honestly. Like, that's the thing about the United States. There's so many different laws at so many different levels of government, from local to federal, that it's hard to keep track of what's what. You know, some things are obvious, like don't kill people, don't steal stuff, but like what types of fireworks and when you can own them and where you can transport them gets a little hazy to me anyway. Just because I haven't looked it up. I mean, you can just look it up. It's not like it's unknowable. Let's see. Get some. But in other states, fireworks are legal to other extents. So in certain states, you can buy pretty much any type of firework you want, up to and including what the professionals use for big, like, municipal fireworks shows. And so I may or may not know someone who lives in a state where they are legal, who may or may not have brought them to me on occasion, and I may or may not have shot them off in the street in front of my house or near my house. And my friends may or may not have had, what's the one, Roman candle wars with me. That's all hazy. It may or may not have happened for legal reasons. I don't know. Who can remember? It was or was not so long ago that it may or may not have happened. Legal. Yeah, I think this is good to go. So I guess I will, let me test it, make sure all the displays light up and that nothing shorts out. To test it, I need power coming in. Oh, actually, you know what? So, if you missed previous videos, which you probably did, which I wouldn't blame you again, this is a remote power box for this thing. So this is the power that's going to go into it, and it all goes back to a regular power connector that plugs into the wall. And this is just so that if I'm fucking around with this and I accidentally misconnect something and cause a short and this thing starts smoking or going on fire, I can just shut the power off. Which, again, this is this whole thing is overkill for what I need. It's just overkill because it's fun to build, not because I think it's necessary at all. It's just kind of cool having a remote shut-off switch like this with the blinking LED, which actually was a sounder as well, but now I chopped it up, so it's just a blinking LED. But it looks cool. It looks industrial, right? Completely unnecessary. I also put a circuit breaker in there. So what I'll do is let me just get all these little pieces of wire off of here. I mean, the bench is made of wood, so yeah, and I'll just power this up through my little shut-off box, which I've already tested. That's why I had these ends capped off. Oh, there it is. Yeah, this whole project's an exercise in overkill and unnecessariness. Also, if you watched my streams last time, or watched them on repeat, because I don't think anyone literally watched them at the time, you'll know I also had them cut out a couple of times. Something's fucked up with my cable modem, but now I've redirected traffic to go out over my Fios connection, which is fiber optic internet. Generally more reliable, at least where I live. It's not, universal that it's going to be more reliable, but here it is. Try not to stress out any of these connectors. Let's just get this into the common neutral. Oh god, it's a little thicker, like the gauge maybe than these are. I think these are rated up to 14 gauge, and that's 14 gauge wire. Something was just making a snapping noise behind me. What the fuck was that? I don't know. Doesn't matter, I guess. Let me go back out to this. Okay, so the box should now be powered on. Let's turn it this way. Bring that over here. And make sure this is not shorting out on anything whatsoever. Okay. And I believe this switch is in the off position, but I guess we'll find out. Yeah, it's in the off position. And hey, no booms. Okay. So I didn't fuck up anything too much. See, this light just blinks right here. The whole idea is to use this for a video I'm going to make, but this is going to be off camera. So it's just not going to annoy the people watching it by blinking, but this way I'll just kind of remember it's on out of the corner of my eye. That's the principle anyway. Again, overkill, but... So 0 amps, 122 volts, which sounds about right. This LED is lit. These are not. In theory, if I throw this switch, those LEDs light. And if I turn these off, those LEDs should go off. Oh yeah. Okay, I didn't fuck up the wiring in the end. I just fucked it up briefly. Cool. So yeah, like I said, that's the test. So when these LEDs are on, these both have to be on, or cables have to, with banana plugs, have to run between these terminals to energize the output side of it, which is just going to output to a normal, I don't know where it is, but a normal power jack, power socket. Here we go. The other end of this extension cord, in other words. Oh no, no. I gotta remember not to use this, right? Because this has a lighted, let me turn this off so I don't accidentally electrocute myself while I'm gesturing. This has a lighted end to it, which I didn't realize I was going to use this because I thought it would look cool that it was lighted. And then I realized, well, if I'm trying to measure the amperage accurately that this is drawing, a tiny neon indicator really isn't going to throw it off that much. It's going to be a couple milliamps, but still, it just kind of ruins the whole principle behind this endeavor by having a plug with a light on it. So, again, and that's why these LEDs are shut-offable. Alright, so let me unplug this thing. Yeah. And I guess the next step is to button this up and get these wires running into the box. Right. And that's going to be a great moment of satisfaction. Okay, so here is the base of this box. I don't know why it's black there. I didn't do anything to it, I don't think. Whatever. Now the only thing of note that I think I noted in the beginning is that obviously I planned on having the inlet here, like sort of centered in this direction on the box, and the output here. The problem with that is the cable gland, which I think is this size. I think this is the right size for that. The cable gland actually intrudes into the box by a little bit. And then, of course, the wire needs to be able to pass out of it. Is that like totally out of focus, or is it just my blurry vision? Hang on. Oh yeah. How the fuck that got out of focus? Oh, God, I'm sorry. That was out of focus the whole time. Well, that's just awful. I swear to God, I focused that before I started. I don't know how that happened. That's not good. Is this still in focus? I think so. Yeah, it looks okay. That looks better. Are they like drifting out of focus? Because that would be fucked up. I don't know why that would be happening. Well, shit. Sorry about that. Anyway, so this is going to intrude into the box by a few millimeters, maybe, looks like about 1/4 or 3/8 of an inch, maybe. So, and then the cable needs room to come out. The problem is that on the input side, this circuit breaker here is somewhat centered, so that might interfere with the cable gland. You see, it just about goes in, and it would be offset a little bit, so the wire should go through. So I think I'm okay. I was worried about that, but I think the way this all worked out, that should be fine. Okay. Wonderful. And I'm going to mount this as low down as possible without it sort of coming out the, off the bottom of the box, like this nut, if you know what I mean. So I'm going to keep it right about there. And in so doing, I will measure it using a measuring stick, which is going to be out of focus, but I kind of want the focus just to be down where I'm mostly working. I don't mind if it's a little out of focus right now. I mean, it's still legible. So, I'm kind of like eyeballing-ish this, if you know what I mean. So this is about 12, oh god, well, I should have taken that cap off that first. This is about 12 centimeters. I mean, well, 11.9? It's really close to 12. It's not, unless I'm just off on that side a little bit. Anyway, 12 is what I will call it, so let's mark this at 6, obviously. And then as far as how high I want it to be, that is really going to be a job for the old eyeball. That mark might actually be okay, a little bit higher, so I think like right at the top of that mark is where I'm going to drill that side, and then just let that dry off a little bit, and same thing on this side, obviously. And I'm just kind of eyeballing the elevation here. A little higher maybe. It's probably good. Like, I find when I eyeball stuff, I'm either dead on, like within less than a millimeter of eyeballing, or I'm like so far off that it's embarrassing. It's never like, oh, I got it kind of close. It's either really far or really great. I'm not bragging. I'm saying like I just don't trust myself to eyeball stuff for that reason, but I do it anyway. I need to go get my actual drill bits. I have my step bits handy, but I want to drill a little pilot hole. Like I said, I'm never quite prepared for this stuff. Oh, you know what else would help? A drill. Like I said, I've been doing other projects, so my drill's migrated away from the table. That drill, and grab the DeWalt also. Okay. I got really into drills at some point, so I have like far more than I need. Because when it comes down to drills, like, if you were to ask me, like, oh, what's the best drill, Scott? I would say, I don't know, it kind of depends on personal preference, like, how it feels in your hand. I wouldn't say there's a right answer. Should I just use this one's fine. I'll use that smaller one, because it's going to be harder to overshoot it with the smaller one. And as of right now, like, I got this Makita fairly recently, and the DeWalt used to be my favorite versus like Milwaukee and Rigid, but I really like the balance and sort of feel of the Makita. They're both comparable models, like the same size and basically same shape, same everything. Just the Makita has like the grip's just a little better suited to my hand. I don't know. Both really top-notch quality, though. I didn't want to, like, overdo that because my finger was somewhere behind that. Oh, God. Well, plus it will do that. Brilliant. And then that's the reason I like having two drills, so I can go back and forth between, like, the pilot drill bit and the step bit in this case. I'm just going to go kind of hog wild. I did that earlier in the project and kind of screwed myself. Oh God, I'm sorry, that must have been really loud on the fucking mic because that was like right next to the microphone. Apologies if that was ridiculous. So I think, yeah, that's going to have to be the largest step on this bit, so kind of impossible to overdo it. Oh, I went right through this little mounting point. Oh yeah, perfect. Perfect. I'm actually going to have to cut that mounting point off because I'm not going to be able to get the nut on the other side of that. Ooh, how am I going to be able to even spin the nut? I guess I don't have to spin the nut. I can spin the connector against the nut. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to spin the nut, but I should be able to fit it on there. See, that was dumb. These are the type of things I don't think about, and I just drill. But most problems can be worked around. So these snips are by far like one of the most useful tools because like I have, I think, just 4 or 5, 6 of these. Because not only are they good for obviously cutting leads off components and cutting wires, but also for shit like this. As I say that, of course, it's not quite the right size to sort of get in here. Or I should say the snips aren't quite the right angle, but I mean, they're absolutely great for stuff like that, because that create a fairly smooth result. And let me just, right off the bat, get rid of it on this side. But, of course, doing random shit like this with them can fuck up the blades. So that's why I have a bunch of these. Plus, I constantly misplace them, and they're cheap, so I just ordered a bunch. These are CHP brand, in case you were wondering. I haven't owned a bunch of brands. If you haven't guessed from any of my videos, I'm not the type of guy who just, like, says, oh, this brand's the best, just because I tried it once. I generally, well, as you see with the drills, I like to try multiple brands and types of thing for myself and come to my own conclusion as to which is the best. So I can't say those CHP cutters are the best you can possibly get for the price, but for the price they're really good. I think they're like $5 or something. Oh, so anyway, yeah, the nut will not spin because it's sort of bottomed out in there, but I can just rotate the connector on the outside, and obviously that rotates against the nut, and that's brilliant. So, not a problem, and I ended up making this, let me just square that up just for aesthetic purposes, without hopefully stripping that plastic nut. There. So it's about as low as it could possibly be, while still fitting in here. And again, that's sort of accidental, sort of luck, but hey, I'll take it. And let me grab another one. I'm pretty sure these are the right size for the wire, only because, or for the cable, only because I used one of this size already out of this package, because I just got this package of thingies, of cable glands. So, on this one, the nut might actually be able to turn a little bit, which is kind of bad, because then it won't have the case to pull against. I keep going out of shot. I am so sorry. Close enough. Alright, cool. Now these did come with rubberized washers, but I'm not trying to make this waterproof. I don't know if those might actually... No, it's not going to rotate. It should be fine. I think maybe the compressing those might keep this from rotating back out, but I'm not too bothered about that. Okay, let me bring this camera back. Let me bring it back out to this camera. And... oh, nope, that just won't do. Oh. Yeah, this apparently is supposed to be waterproof or water resilient. because it's got rubberized shit everywhere. That's also probably to retain it, but it's not just the type that bites into the cable jacket. So I'm just going to put that right at the edge. Just have the jacket barely coming through, just so that if it gets near that circuit breaker, these wires can splay out really easily. And it's pushing it in a little, but that should be fine. And then I know from experience with this cable from doing the other box that I can bottom this out, and it squeezes the cable tightly and gets a firm grip on it, but not too firm. So nice. Then on the other side, so like I said, I don't want to use the plug that came with the cable, so I have a little bit of extra. What I'm going to do is put my own end on it, terminate it myself. Should I terminate it? Yeah, let me terminate it first. As thrilling as that's going to be, it'll just be easier to terminate while this is not attached to the box. And for that, sorry if it got weirdly loud or the noise reduction got crazy, but I just went right near the air conditioners, which is where I keep my plugs and sockets and stuff. Did I move my knife? I did not. Good. Okay. So yeah, just a simple giant ass connector. I mean, it doesn't need to be that big, but whatever. It's fine. And then I guess I can use this screwdriver. Does not have to be out all the way though. Okay. Does this have a strip gauge on it? I mean, I usually just honestly eyeball this too. It does have a strip gauge. Plus, it's like such a short amount that I want stripped. It's always a pain in the ass to get those conductors lined up in there. Okay, let's see if I did this without cutting through the insulation. Yeah, nice. Close up, close up. So now, if I'm feeling sort of unlucky, I'll just go around it with these snips. If I'm feeling lucky, I would go around it with the razor knife and just hope I didn't cut too deep. But with the snips, it's a lot safer because you're just getting the jacket for sure, unless you really go crazy with them. And you're not going to get the insulation off camera of the conductors. Which I just did. See, this is what I'm talking about with hubris. Like, this is the second time in the videos, while I'm talking about doing something the proper way without fucking it up, I fuck it up. Unbelievable. Well, whatever. Just cut that out in editing. Okay. So, now as I do this the second time, I'm probably going to cut right through the insulation on one of those conductors. And, oh, I did not. Happy day. Happy day. I cut through the paper, but not the insulation itself. Wow. Oh my, you can't even see that. I'm sorry. So, yeah, okay. So this time, let me not be a smarty pants and talk about how, like, cool I'm doing this, and just do it. There we go. It doesn't leave a very tidy end. It's a little chewed up, but nobody's going to see it, and it doesn't matter, in all honesty. Now, these are way longer than the strip gauge indicated, because the strip gauge, I think it wants it to be like as long as the plug, and then stripped down to about there. So, I'm not quite going to lop as much of it. Yeah, that's fine. Sorry, I keep going. I gotta move this camera back because I keep sort of drifting down over there. And let me grab my good screwdriver because I'm really gonna want to tighten these down reasonably well. Yeah. And by the way, is this still in focus? That is what I'm curious about. Yeah, okay. Maybe I knocked it out of focus before by accident. I don't know. Fucked if I know. Wire strippers, which are buried. Okay. Yeah, strip gauge doesn't require much stripping. That should be about right. Again, hubris. Gotta pretend like it's going poorly. Be like, oh no, that's awful. This is all going badly, and then it turns out well. Something. I don't know. Screwdriver. Get these nice and loose first, because like, is it just me, or are these like a pain in the ass for everyone to get these in just so? Especially when you're trying to keep it in the fucking shot. Tighten that down after all these are sort of in place. This is like the thrill-a-minute stuff that YouTube was made for, am I right? Just putting ends on cables. One screw at a time. And out of shot again. Now, see, it looks like this was all... Well, no, see, I was just going to say, it looked like this all went together nice and easy, and it went together very well, but that's the hubris again, and that's going to make me fuck up. Like, I'm not being superstitious, like, you know, like the universe is going to cause me to fuck up. It's more like I'm going to cause myself to fuck up by being overconfident. So it's more psychological than superstitious. Anyway, that looks reasonably nice. Now, of course, I did fuck up because I should have put this on first. If this was any kind of regular extension cord type situation, that would have boned me, but fortunately this has no end to speak of. So, gotta loosen that up though. So, my fuck up was rewarded by not being an actual fuck up, if that is a sensible way to phrase anything, which it's not. And then this is keyed, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there it is. And yeah. Ah, perfect. That actually, okay, I'm just stripping all that shit just right. Wonderful. One thing I always found weird about this design of connector is that, like, these three screws, like when you go to pull this, pull a plug out of this, those three screws are the only thing holding this barrel inside the outer casing thing. And like the threads are pretty flimsy on, not flimsy, they're fairly coarse and heavy, but there's very few of them. And they're going into plastic, so I just feel like if you make the mistake and over-tighten them and you strip the threads, or just over time the threads get a little loose, like you could go and pull this apart one day and have just live conductors in your hand. I'm not a big fan of this design, but these are cheap. And these are, by the way, UL listed, properly rated, like sold in home stores here in the United States. Like, I mean, I actually got these, I think, at Home Depot. These might have been from Amazon, but they're made by Leviton, which is a proper manufacturer of electrical stuff here. And I'm probably worldwide too. I just don't know how popular they are other places, but I know they're sold all over, so that's nice and snug. Now this cord does not need to be this long, because it's just going to be hanging off the box and something's going to get plugged right into that, so I am going to chop this down for length by quite a lot. Not too much, because, yeah, that's fine. It's just sort of going to be a dongle, like, off the end of it. And the reason for that is I was going to put, originally I was going to put outlets on the front of this box, or on the front of a daughter box to this, but then I was like, you know what, I'm only ever going to be testing one device with this, because that's what makes sense. And if I want to test more than one, I guess I can plug a power strip into this. But also, I'm going to be plugging power adapters for that's my initial use case for this, testing multi-voltage power adapters. And they are going to be of varying sizes, and if they're too bulky, I didn't want the receptacles done here and have them intrude on top of other components or what have you. So I figured just have a little dongle hanging off of it. Now I can plug any size plug into that I want. Now this is the tricky part, because I'm going to slit this for a fairly long length, and just watching the depth really carefully. And at the end it doesn't really matter, because I'm going to be stripping all these conductors at the very end anyway. So I actually went a little shallow at the end, but that's fine. But this is by far the easiest way to strip this kind of cable of its jacket. It's also the easiest way to accidentally go too far. Like, I just shaved, like barely shaved the live conductor's insulation, and by shaved I mean like you could barely see the shaving, so that's fine. I just don't want exposed conductors in here, but it's not going to suffer much abuse being inside the box as it will be. If I had shaved it any more significantly, then I would have redone it, but that's the shaving, and it's extremely thin, and it came off right there, so it was barely anything. I'm not concerned. You may be. I'm not. Again, if this was a permanent thing that was being installed, or I was giving it to someone else to use, I would be a lot more careful about this shit. But being as I'm the one going to use it, who's going to use it supervised, not as bothered. I just don't want you to think I'm a careless maniac who doesn't give a shit about safety. I mean, that's true to an extent, but it's a bit of a mischaracterization. Anywho, so let me now shove these in here gently. It's easier to strip them first, I find. Oh, did it again. See, same fucking thing happened again. Let's put this bushing on first, huh? Oh my Christ. Okay, let me first return this. Is that also a bushing? Whatever this shit is called. It goes on in that order. Wow. It's just not my night. Nah, I'm just kidding. I fuck up all the time. I just wonder, you know, like on YouTube, you see all these edited videos, people putting together projects like this, or maybe not exactly like this, but just projects. And they seem to go together flawlessly. Like they never have a problem, and if they do, it's very minor, and they're like, oh, look, I made a small problem, and now it's fixed. It's like, I wonder if anyone really fucks up majorly and then just doesn't show it. It's like, I fuck up all the time. But I feel like that's how you learn. I mean, I fuck that sort of thing up, like where you don't put on the bushing, whatever this is called, the bushing or the base of the connector onto the cable first, and you wire it all up, and then you have to de-wire it so you can put it back on. I feel like that's got to happen to everyone. I can't be the only one who does that shit regularly. Ugh, that was a poor stripping. You know? But I think the problem is you watch, like, these makers on YouTube, and I'm not shitting on them. I love watching makers on YouTube. I was going to solder these together originally, but you know what? Fuck it. Let me just get a 4-position Wago connector and just put all the grounds into it that way. I don't have a 4-position connector. Hang on. Be right back. But anyway, you see all these, like, people on YouTube just throwing together projects. It's all edited together. Even when it looks like off the cuff, they make no mistakes. And it's all perfect every time. Maybe they make a small mistake. Oh, look at me. I made a tiny mistake. Like, are people really that perfect? Or do I just have a complex about it, or what? Are there no 4-position ones? There's only, like, 5-position, or it's only odd numbers, and then 2 and 1. Or, no, 1 would make sense, but there's only 2 after that. Oh, okay. No such thing as a 4-position knockoff Wago connector, at least not that I got. But anyway, it gives me a complex where I feel like if I don't do a project perfectly on the first try, it's like, oh no, I'm a failure. All the other YouTubers are perfect at what they do all the time. Yeah, it's kind of depressing. But I don't think it's fair either. I feel like everyone must fuck up. Maybe not as much as I do? I don't know. Alright, so this is the output side. I think I'm better off just putting this, propping this up like this. I said propping it up. Yeah, it doesn't really want to stay propped, but alright, that's fine. I'm just going to leave this on a wide shot. I mean, I don't know if you want me to zoom in, but hopefully you get the idea of what I'm doing. I'm just putting these wires into the Wago connectors that I have for the output side of things. See, that's going to be a bitch to reach. I should have made these wires longer. Well, it doesn't matter, I guess. This is fine. But yeah, it gives me a complex sometimes, like watching all these other guys. I mean, then again, like a lot of people on YouTube are really like just super geniuses or super experts at what they do, and so they're bound to make fewer mistakes than I do. You know, I'm definitely not like a super genius or anything. In fact, I'm just sort of fumbling around right now. But I just wonder if it gives anyone else a complex. Like, hell, when I edit this video down to a tolerable level and someone watches it, I mean, I'm not going to include every single mistake, not because I don't want to look like I'm perfect, not because I want to look like I'm perfect. See, I can't even say that phrase properly. Because obviously I've live streamed this shit and it's clear that this did not go perfectly. Like, I'm not trying to hide it. But the fact of the matter is that an edited together YouTube video with all the mistakes in it would end up being super long, because it would also have to have all the successes in it in order to make sense. You know, it would have to have like everything being done properly as well as the mistakes. In that case, I might as well not edit it. It might as well just be as long as all the live streams put together. And then no one's going to watch it, because it's going to be this long. So, but when you watch the edited version, you're going to think that maybe I'm like a super genius who doesn't make mistakes, because I just threw all this together, no problem. Which maybe will give someone else a complex that maybe they're inferior at doing shit like this because they make mistakes, whereas really everyone does, and some people just hide them more than others. And again, like I said, when I say hide, I don't mean that in a nefarious way, because I'm going to effectively hide a lot of these mistakes, but not because I'm trying to make them secret, just to cut down on time. But anyway, who knows? Probably overthinking it. Oh god, did I not cut these two wires long enough? I'm gonna be really fucking annoyed at myself if this doesn't really reach. You know what? We'll just I'm just gonna cheap out and just push that through a little, which is fine. I mean, there's no ill effects. I couldn't do that on the other side because I think it would foul the circuit breaker, but on this side I have a little extra clearance, so yeah, we'll just say shh about that. Okay, I think this is wired up properly. Just give a little close-up here. It doesn't even all fit in the shot, but that's the mess of wiring. And then just try to... Oh, fuck me. Of course, as I'm pushing it in, another solder connection breaks off this LED over here. Oy. Yeah. And what I want to say about that is it's not my fault. Should I just use thicker gauge? Down? I'll use the thin gauge wire. Let me just get some more of that. I was going to say it's not my fault. Obviously it is, because I put it together. But just to be clear on what happened there, it's not bad soldering. The solder was fine. It's that in order to get the cable through the holes in the connector and the little clip at the end of those LEDs, I actually had to take off a bunch of strands. I think I'd take off like half the strands of what was already thin gauge aluminum, copper-coated aluminum. And so that only left a couple of really thin strands. Actually going to the connector, and then just as it flexed, it just broke right off. Which is actually bad, because like if that happens, like just from banging the box around and another one pops off, there could be just a live conductor hanging around inside the box. But you know, that's life. Sometimes shit happens. Anyway, get the soldering iron back out. I'm gonna do the same sort of ghetto-ass thing I did before, which is I'm just gonna wrap the wire around the shit that broke off, because that'll all suck together nicely and it will give a good, if sloppy, connection. Yeah. Not like my proudest thing that I'm doing, but like this one's a little stiffer because this yellow one, because I could feel it, like the cable's very stiff, or the wire's very stiff, because solder clearly wicked up inside of here, and that actually helped make the whole thing a little more solid. I think that happened on other ones as well, like this one feels, but the other ones were just floppy. Because all I was doing was hanging by like half of this number of strands. And again, it's copper-coated aluminum. I should have just got copper. I didn't realize it was aluminum. Copper is obviously the superior metal. Okay, this is heated up enough. Donkey, donkey, donkey. And this is kind of awkward. I'm just going to melt down this existing solder a little bit and just push it out of the way. I should maybe get some of those conductors. Yeah, just kind of get it there. Just bent down a little bit. I'm sorry, I know you can't really see what I'm doing here, but I can't really move this box now because it's all interconnected. I can't move it pleasantly and comfortably. So I'm just going to wrap this wire around that big ass blob of solder and shit, and then just heat it all up. And just drop a ton of solder in there. And that's pretty sloppy, but it'll get the job done. Now it's like really on there. And it's got all its strands, so it's not going to be falling off. What I am going to do though, just because that's, well, no, that's fine, because it's got that plastic separator there. That's good. I'm actually going to leave this long though, so it doesn't get tugged. Okay, well if I strip that better, that would help. Kind of at a weird angle here. Oh god. What is wrong with me? It's like this... Okay. It's like being super elastic, even though obviously I've used this cable in a bunch of other places. Okay. Anybody else want to snap off? Let me zoom out a little here. Now I kind of just have to cram all this in as best as possible without ruining anything. Some of these components are a little on the deeper side, so for example, you know, the issue is this circuit breaker is actually kind of long. I'm going to bend the terminals in slightly so that they're at an angle, which shouldn't be a problem. It's just this box was like a centimeter deeper. That would be huge, because now I'm gonna have to just organize the wires just so that not like these big Wago connectors aren't right underneath any kind of components or terminals. Come on. There we go. No, mostly. Yeah. Cool. It's a little springy, but that's just because of cables. And I covered up the screw holes with that cover decal, but it's not really permanent adhesive. So just sort of ghetto-fabulously peel that up, put the screws in, and then push it back down. Okay. Yeah. Yep. I think my wife just got home from work. Let me go say hello to her in a second, and I'll be right back. 1 minute, please. Oh god, and I'm back. Alright, anyway, where are the rest of these screws? Oh, that's a good fucking question. Oh, there they are. That would have been bad if I lost them. I mean, they're probably a standard... I don't know. Whatever, it's better I didn't lose them. Oh my god. Actually, I probably should have just powered it up before I screwed all the screws in, but... let's make sure nothing else broke off or shorted out. But hey, whatever, why not commit? Alright, marvelous. Yeah, let me turn off the power to the box. And power from this box should be off, not that it really matters. Where the fuck's the plug? There we go. And boom. Okay. Cool. And bada boom. Alright. This LED is out now. Ah, great. That pin probably broke off of that. At least those two are working. Yeah, when I shoved the box closed, something that probably broke. Fucking hell. Did I go blink when I turned that off? Oh, it's just the resonance of that box it's in. Ah, fucking hell. Alright, well, see, this is the type of thing I'll cut out in editing. I might mention it, though. But, yeehaw. Yeah, these little LEDs are my downfall, because the terminals on them are just so weak. Not weak. I mean, the terminals are sturdy, but I mean, they're just weak as far as, like, connection methodology. Because, like I said, the holes that the wire's supposed to go through are very small. And considering the you know, they're not just straight LEDs, there's got to be like a resistor in there because it's operating at 120 volts. But I'm just calling them LED. I guess I should call them indicators technically because they're more of a package than just an LED. But anyway, the fact they're made for 120 volts means that one should expect to use... Oh, you know what I might have done? No, it still has... It's still physically connected to that nicely. I think I know what the problem might have been. I might have actually destroyed it with the heat from the soldering iron. Just see if it's flaky, like if I tap the wires, if it comes back on or if it's just dead. Oh, now it's on. Okay. Now, it's like something was Oh, that Wago connector is really close to the bottom of it, which is not necessarily brilliant in of itself. I'm going to get that hooked around up there. And then get this Wago connector over there, and let's just see. Oh. Wait, was it on the whole time and I just didn't see it was on? No, it was definitely off before. I mean, it's not flaky. Huh. Okay. I mean, like I said, that Wago connector was pressing on it from the bottom, which I don't know why that would cut off power to it, but... I was just worried that I destroyed it with the heat from the soldering iron, but I guess not. Unless it's just like super flaky now, which would be unfortunate. Not very well magnetized. Okay. Nope. Yeah, but anyway, in retrospect, I would have gone for like a more sort of robust LED, I suppose, or indicator light, LED plus. But yeah, I mean, I was just kind of browsing around on Amazon, and that's what I saw. Yeah, I know there's plenty of other places to order components, but fairly small, discrete 120 volt LED packages are not all that easy to find. I mean, there's a lot out there, but they're just getting the right size that would fit with the enclosure. Like, they can get ones that are this big fairly easily, but I feel like that was just too much. Oh, there we go. I mean, it's working. But oh my god, excuse me. So that's fun. Let's see if there's actual power coming out of it. Now, there should not be power if I turn those switches off. Live and neutral indicators, that's fun. And what do I have that I could power off of that? I have a soldering iron, but I don't want to heat that up and have it sitting there. 1 second, I'll get something to plug into that shit. A little light, maybe, would be perfect. And, oh, actually, you know what? This is kind of a silly light, but it's on top of the pile of lights. Because I just found it recently and needed someplace to put it. It is an halogen light, which is of some unknown wattage. 300 watts, I think? I mean, it's definitely not going to trip a 3 amp breaker. Because it's not going to be over 360 watts, I don't think. No, there's no way this tiny package is 300 watts. Let's plug it in and see if the breaker trips. The plug's a little fucked up. Okay, that doesn't want to go in all the way. I don't know why that is. Alright, neutral and live. Yeah, look at that. So this is also going to be interesting for testing, because now if I have something plugged into this, I can simulate a floating neutral. I can simulate a floating live, which isn't really a problem usually, but because neutral is reference to ground. But yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Huh. I actually didn't even mean to wire it that way, but when the LED enable is on, the LEDs are actually getting powered via the light, even when there's no power. So the LEDs, the resistors in the LEDs are probably current limiting it. So are they getting hot? No, because this bulb isn't going to be the light. That's kind of dumb, but kind of interesting. Didn't mean to do that. Oh well. Just keep that in mind. Why am I not getting any reading on the ammeter. Oh, because I only have it. See, did I want to do that? Oh, I thought I had it on this. Oh yeah, but there's no current going through that post. So I have this ammeter is only reading the current that'll go out through the live post, which I guess is what I wanted to do. I guess that's fine. I kind of wanted it to be on the whole box though, so maybe that was dumb. Maybe I should refactor that. Let me get a banana patch cable. Banana time. And I guess I should get a blue one if I have a blue one handy. Just so it fits with the theme, which is the whole idea. Yeah. Okay. Power the box off before fucking with this. Can bypass that. And these are all safety plugs anyway, but actually now if I power this on, this is going to be live as fuck. But now if I put that in, turn that on, now we see it is, let me make sure it's not swapping out, it's 1 amp exactly. So I guess it's I mean this is notorious, yeah, it spiked to 1.3, but these are notoriously not very accurate. So it's probably anywhere from 0.8 amps to 1.2 amps. Anyway, cool. A little bit of a burning electrical smell, but it's coming from this thing. It's probably just a bunch of dust and crap in here. It's getting burnt off the light bulb. Whew. Shut that off. So yeah, an interesting little test box, I think. Fun little project to put together. Cool. Now this thing's mate, its better half, is going to be a low voltage test box. Because like I said, the first project is to use this to test multi-voltage power adapters. So the power adapter will plug into here, so I can measure the input current to that. And then the other end of the power adapter, the DC end of it, will power this box, which will have additional taps and other craps. You know, it'll be the same sort of idea as this. Only it will also have a variable PSU module I got a long time ago off of Banggood, which takes DC in and outputs DC at a variable level. And so that's going to sit in this box, along with a bunch of switches and some more banana sockets. How long have I been blathering on for? It's been about an hour and a half. You know what, let me get started on this box. I'll at least get these, get the top cut out. Maybe, and maybe not bother with the square hole for the variable power supply. Let me get this. Yeah, what I'm going to do is I'll just get started drilling out the low voltage box, and then I'll take a break for, I don't know, a day, 2 week, however the fuck long it takes me to get back to this. And this way I'll have a chance to clean all this shit up, get rid of all the line voltage wiring. Well, actually, this is still a decent amperage. Oh yeah, but I'm not going to use this color. I'll use red and black for this box. Those are standard DC colors. And I'll clean up all this shit and clean up all the plastic shavings that are going to result from me drilling this out. And then get back to the project another time. So first deal is, on this time, last time I did it, I used this just cardboard template. As you can see, it has little pilot holes in it. I used this to drill out initially the pilot holes for the box, and then I went in with the step bits. On this one, I printed out a piece of transparency, which is probably not going to be the final one. I printed it out twice. This one has reference marks to center it. This is like a dimmer. I feel like, hang on. I feel like my camera settings like randomly changed on me since I set up all this crap. Where is my color dealie? Yeah, there it is. I feel like the exposure on this is like too weak now too. No, that's about where I wanted it. It just seems... No, I mean the white is spiking about the same place. I know this is thrilling. I feel like the camera spazzed out at some point and just lost focus and exposure. Well, that's weird. Anyway. So, in order to get these centering marks going, I need to likewise draw some centering marks on the top of this box. And these marks are probably just going to stay on there, honestly. Like, I'm not super concerned about aesthetics. So this is 158 millimeters or thereabouts. So let me just offset it by a millimeter there. And that's 160 millimeters, so 80 millimeters. Fuck, I'm all out of whack. Right in the middle. And then same thing on this side, of course. Bring that out by a millimeter. Split the difference of 158. And then boink, boink, boink at 80. And then same thing on this side. This is also something I did not do for the other box. This is actually 90 millimeters. Just about exactly. So that makes things... Oh, fuck. Sorry, out of shot again. Jesus. Okay. So 4.5 centimeters or 45 millimeters. And then likewise on this side. Just make sure the ruler is nicely lined up. Yeah. Hey, make a mark. There you go. Again, I'm not like hyper concerned about aesthetics, but might as well try to make it look as good as possible. And then this way, when it comes out meh, it'll at least be like down from, it'll be better than awful. I don't know. The only problem is I'm not, oh fuck. See what I did? I used the one without reference marks. This was going to be the final topper for this, but now I've got fingerprints all over it, and there's no way I'm going to get it back on the sticky sheet, so I have to reprint that. Well, so much for paying attention to what I'm doing. Okay. Also, this is dumb because once I mean this adhesive isn't super permanent. Let me just zoom out because there's no way I'm going to keep this in the shot. Adhesive's not super permanent, but I'd love to. It should just. Ugh, that's way off. Wow. Like I would have preferred to just print this on transparency without adhesive, just to get it so I could actually drag it around to get it lined up. This is all kind of experimental for me, sort of like refining it, try to find the ideal way to do it. And this is definitely not the ideal way, but I shall persevere. Ooh, that was really close. This just has to be lifted up on this side the tiniest bit. Basically, as long as that's there and that's there, this corner is okay. And then just bring the rest of this up and flatten it out. Oof, that is ever so slightly off. These three witness marks are lined up, but this one is not on the top. Which probably just means I measured it poorly, because if three of them are lined up, the fourth should be lined up by default. So you know what? We're going to go with that. Could be my Sharpie I just drew. It's like a millimeter out of whack on this top witness mark, but these other ones are pretty much bang on. So the thing I like about using a sticker now is that it's not going to move when I go to drill it. Like it's not going to like the problem with using a piece of cardboard that I just taped down with a couple pieces of Scotch tape is that, like, it could just shift or bend, you know, or bow slightly, and then it makes these a little bit inaccurate. This is perfectly flat. Everything's nicely, well, I don't know. I shouldn't brag about it. Whatever. We'll see how this goes in the long run. Not that I was bragging, but you know what I mean. I shouldn't necessarily say this is the right way to do it yet. And I'm just putting it on the bottom of the box because the drill bit is shorter than the whole depth of the box, so I can't possibly over drill, and I can't drill into my table. So, and again, this is just for oh my god, the fuck is the, I used the word before for the starter holes to line it up. Never mind, you fill in the blanks for me, please. This is why. Oh, and you know what, I got a camera sort of just for this, more or less. However, where is the plane of focus? Oh, it's actually focusing pretty close, so okay. This should be more or less in focus. Try to get that nicely. So now, by the way, I did this in Photoshop. Maybe not the best software to do it in, but to keep these holes, pilot holes, that's the word, perfectly centered, I basically just used the ellipse tool to draw a circle, and the circle is transparent, but it has a border, and I just tweaked the radius of the thickness of the border until it just gave me a tiny little hole right in the middle. So I know that hole's perfectly centered on that circle. And also I should note these black boxes, those are just to, oh, those actually, wow, okay, it's actually a good thing I destroyed, oh man, it's a good thing I destroyed the final, or what I thought was the final cover for this, or the final decal, because these black boxes are not meant to be there permanently. Those are just meant to be sort of layout marks, and they are for these switches, which I'm going to use again, just because the base of these switches is so big. I had to account for that in the layout, because the actual observable part of the switch is pretty small. It's just, you know, that part there. So, yeah, those black boxes should not actually be there, because all you're going to see is this switch. And I think I might actually, though, use, and I did lay it out for this, the on-off plate that goes over it to indicate, well, whether it's on or off. I think it looks kind of cool and kind of industrial. So, and they're actually going to be mounted sideways, which is also why you want to say on-off, because usually up would be off. In this case, either left or right. It's going to be, up would be on. Did I just say off? Jesus. But this way, I'm going to make it that way or the other way around, whatever. You can see my point where I'm going with that. And I'm going to have to move that. I just realized that 40 volt max below the power LED is kind of like hanging off here, so I'm just going to have to either move that or remove it. I don't know. Ooh, went full bore with that one. Again, I apologize if that is really loud on the mic, which I'm sure it is. I don't even know what that's going to sound like with the noise reduction turned on. It might sound like a fucking dolphin farting underwater with a dentist in its mouth. But anyway. And am I hitting these pilot holes perfectly centered on these circles? Not really. I mean, very close, but... well, you be the judge. I think this one's... well, no, actually, this could just be the... it's hard to tell because the adhesive crap is sort of deformed, like the Hercles. The holes are perfectly circular. It's just they look a little messed up because it sort of tore into the decal a little bit. And that's fine. The Hercles. Steve Hercle. That one is definitely not centered, but What am I going to do, cry over it now? That one was pretty good, though. Yeah, you can see that one's that one's off for sure. But when I say off, it's probably by like 0.5 millimeter. So it's not going to be super noticeable once all this is put together. And then this purple box, like I said, represents this multi-voltage adapter. And that purple box should be exactly where I have to cut out to get this to fit. Because the bezel is wider than that purple area. Although not by much, so I'm going to come a little short of cutting out the entire purple area. And then sort of tweak it to get it to fit. And to do that, I'm going to use my nibbler tool, which I believe I have here. Yes, I do. Or I'm going to try using it. I don't know if the box is too thick for it to handle. Oops. That is iffy. Is that adjustable? It probably is adjustable. That's a stupid question. I'm assuming that's what this screw does. Oh, that's not what that screw does? That's just a screw that's holding it together? Oh, fuck me. Okay. Oh, is this plate movable? Should I not have done that? No, that's fine. Okay. Add a shot again. I've never actually used this before, so this will be a surprise for all of us. And if that doesn't work, I might just Dremel through it. I don't know. Fact of the matter is, though, either way, I need to drill out the corners, or at least one corner to get started, to fit this through. So, larger drill bit is in order. And I'm using these DeWalt drill bits. Again, it's another one of those things I haven't bought a whole shit ton of brands of drill bit to compare these to. But a while ago I bought a package of DeWalt bits, and I like them. They will cut through pretty much anything. I mean, granted, some things will make them dull more quickly than others, but actually, should I use a step bit? Because this might chew through the plastic a little bit. You know what? Yeah, let me go back to the bit I was using as the pilot bit, and I'm going to use a step drill bit to actually remount the holes. So I'm just sort of going to eyeball how far in I have to go. I'm going to say right there. And then I already have the step bit on standby. Ah, yes. Oh, is that not going to be able to maneuver in there? Oh, yeah, this box is too thick. Tell me this is adjustable. I feel like it should be adjustable. But I may be stupid because I don't see where to adjust it. Is the problem. I mean, this is a very cheap example of one of these. So, yeah, I don't see how it would be adjusted. Because that rides up and down on there. Huh. That's fucking unfortunate. I may have an old one of those around somewhere, which may or may not be better. I may or may not be able to find it. Because the thing is, I had one, and I knew I had one, but I couldn't find it when I was going to get shit together for this project, so I ordered that really cheap one that's on the bench over there. So I'm just going to give one quick last-ditch look for the other one in like a pile of components and tools that I have over here. They're sort of very miscellaneous. No. Not at all. Well, shit, okay. I may just end up dremeling it or using a handsaw. It's just that creates such a messy edge, and then I have to file it and dick around with it more. Ugh. I would really just rather nibble it. What is this? No, that's not it. It's not even remotely it. It's a speaker mount in a plastic bag. Unless I put it in my main toolbox, and I just sort of threw it in there at some point. And I didn't even bother checking there because it didn't seem like a main tool. Well, I think this is probably going to be it for tonight's stream. But I'm not ending it until after I check my toolbox to see if my snips are here. I could use this hacksaw, that would be funny. It's not really the right tool for the job, but might make quick work of that box, though. I'm just rummaging. And of course my lights are off because the studio lights are on, if you want to call them studio lights. So I'm using my phone as a light here. No, that is an RJ45 crimp. Although RJ45 connectors are not actually called RJ45 connectors. It's so fucking weird. And it's not weird, it's just weird how everyone, including me, calls them that. Okay, I will either order a different nibbler from Amazon, only because Amazon will probably have the quickest delivery, although during virus times it's been real spotty at best. Or I will Dremel it. Because I don't know, if I get another one, was it just going to have the same depth of... Oh, actually... Wait. No. For a second I thought it was... It's so freaking close. For a second I thought it was just the chewed up edge of decal that was making it look like it wouldn't fit, but no. It's oh, it's so close. I can almost feel it grabbing. It almost grabs. If this material were a 1/4 of a millimeter thinner, I think it would be able to grab it. Well, I guess a 1/4 of a millimeter is probably the thickness of this decal, eh? No, but I think I might be exaggerating there a little bit. Let's see. No. Not quite. So more like 1/2 millimeters. I almost find it hard to believe this is not adjustable. But this would have to articulate farther outwards for that to go up farther. I don't see any other, because I think this cutting thing, the blade assembly, is just directly connected to this handle. And I don't see any way to adjust the throw of that. Alright, well, you know what? I'm going to call it a night for now. And hopefully I'll solve the mystery of the missing nibbler and or order a new one and or Dremel this out. I might actually Dremel it out in the garage, well, it's not going to be too much of a mess, it'll mostly just be burned plastic smell. So I might do it in the garage for that reason. And then come back to you with that already cut out. I don't know, we'll see, it's all a mystery. It's all a complete unknown. Anyway, I know my audio's out of sync, like I said, new noise cancelling shit, very computationally intensive and takes a while, hence a 1 second delay. But if you stuck with me for this long, thank you, and I'll see you on the next stream, perhaps. I feel like that's like an exit, but now I still have to actually shut off the stream, so it's kind of, what's the word? Anticlimactic? No, just whatever this is.